You have likely heard the term OPM, other people's money. How can you use my money to build your wealth? Find out more in this episode.
So J Money Newsome, we just went through one of the areas of my life that has been in hypergrowth mode since last year. You have been kind of taking over the world in what I've observed. Tell me, what's at least one section of your life that is in hypergrowth mode and why?
I do have some very good answers. One section though, this is going to be a fun challenge. And I think if I had to distill one big section down into the most growth would probably be last year, March, I rented out your island. I had my own real life trading event here.
Right, that's really when you know you've made it.
That's the win. All right. When you rent out a private island, that's how you know you've made it. Now, on that event, I met a person who connected me with a person, and it was a really, really beautiful string of events. Again, team, investing in yourself always pays off.
Absolutely.
Buying a ticket to the room always pays off. It's one of those investments that you never feel good doing, but it always comes to fruition. So that being said, friend of a friend, person of a person, connection of a connection. Whole thing transpires. And as of right now, we're getting pretty close when they listen to this episode to $200 million in a funded account.
Wow. Yay.
That's crazy. Almost $250 million.
That's amazing.
That's wild. So to walk through what that looks like, what we did is when we were on the island, we had Brittany Turner just pound our brains in. What's your purpose? How can you be bigger? How can you be bigger? You're playing small. You're playing small. And it was a stretching of, all right, we have a bunch of my team who are here. What can we do and what impacts can we make globally in a nation or in a community? So we sat down. We started asking that question. What can we do? And how can we do it at scale? One of the best questions you could probably ever ask in business or really in any event is how can I scale and add people without adding cost?
Right.
If you can start answering that question, you can really, really do extremely well. So one of our answers was, well, we can teach people. And if we can teach a large group of people, there's no real massive overall cost in addition to how many more people come into this class, especially if it's a webinar. So imagine instead of teaching 10 people this information, I can teach 10,000.
Mm-hmm.
Are there direct correlated costs to teaching 10,000? It's like, well, not really. I mean, there's a small one, but it's not a lot. So how can we get in front of nations? And then what's the number one problem that people have in trading? And the answer is capital.
Right.
That's the number one problem. Oh, I want to do this, but I don't have the money. That's why I made all my education free in the first place.
Right.
Everyone said, I don't have the money to learn. Okay, cool. It costs nothing. What's your new excuse?
Right.
So now, Brittany, we have a program. I know you know about this, but just remember me.
I want to hear the deets.
That's right. The deets are now we have a program where an individual can go through a 90-day masterclass, and myself and my team, we teach this individual or these individuals, hundreds of people, everything from A to Z. They don't know anything about trading. They know nothing at all. We teach them. And then around week 8, we give them a $100,000 audition account. Now, this audition account is half fake.
Oh.
So what do I say half fake? Half fake because if that $100,000 turns into $110,000, AKA they make a 10% return in any time period, the $100,000 becomes real.
Yeah.
And then it's a 75-25 split. When I tell this to most people, they think it's 75% to me. No. Other way around, right?
Wow.
I come from a give system, not a greed system. So I'm giving 75% of whatever profits they make to the individual.
Wow. We
pay them with a 1099, like a contractor, right? For tax at the end of the year. Now that's scalable.
Yeah.
And that can be presented to any nation, any country, any president. At this stage, we can go to someone and go, do you want thousands of your community members to get taught a skill where if they have access to internet, they have access to income? They get taught this skill, and this skill directly can go right to their bottom line of income for your country. You can have citizens, whoever it might be. You have citizens that now have absolutely, without question, every opportunity to trade. They have the money, we give them that. We have the education, we give them that. The government would pay real life trading some type of grant,
right, in
the form of an educational grant, and boom, we can teach them.
So I'm sure you get a lot of questions on what happens if they lose it all, and what happens, like what are these frequently asked questions? You want to go ahead and just deflect those naysayers who say it's too good to be true.
I mean, that's a big one. One of the bigger ones is, what if they lose all the money?
Right.
Well, there are protocols in place, algorithmically and robotically, that will stop that from happening. As an example is, if they lose more than 5% of their account, which is a risk that we're willing to take, if they lose more than 5% of the account gets frozen, they get kicked out of the program. It's like, hey, high five, we get to try again. Now, the good news is there's no negative on their credit.
Right.
It's just a, hey, it didn't work this time.
Lose $5,000. Still be okay.
Right. Good try. And now, whose $5,000 are they losing?
Not theirs.
Mine.
Yeah.
I'm taking the risk.
Yeah.
It's pretty similar to being the bank of real estate.
Yeah.
So if you go to a home, a real estate, to purchase a house, and the bank is like, well, hey, here's all the things that you need, this, all these documentations, and then they'll give you the loan. Pretty similar for me. Give me the information you can do this. Give me the requirements. Show me that you can do it. Spend 12 weeks with me. Show up to class. Do the homework. Get qualified. And in that qualification process, after you do the work, I'll give you the money. And the whole too good to be true, I'm making money on it also, right? That's the 25%. 75% goes to you,
Right.
25% goes to the funding partners. So when you're talking about that particular program, it's extremely invigorating because real life trading happens to be one of the only companies doing this. And especially we are the only company doing it at the scale that we're doing it at and going after nation building.
Surely you can only give out so many hundreds of thousands of dollars, though. Is there a cap to how many people you can work with?
Not yet, but we want to get to that cap.
That's cool.
We want to test some of the waters.
That's amazing.
Yeah, because as you know,
Congratulations.
Thank you. Money is the easier of the problems to be solved.
So hold on, let me just go back. So I've heard a lot of excuses in my lifetime, but you're telling me you've eliminated the excuse of how much it costs to learn,
Mm-hmm.
and then I don't have any money to trade with. You got rid of both of those.
Yeah.
Wow. People have to have a certain credit score to be able to do this?
In fact, the worse credit score, the better, probably.
Really?
Yeah. Mostly because then they're hungry. Then they really want to get out of their
I guess y'all aren't checking that. That has nothing to do with it. Okay.
Yeah.
They just need to go through the 90 days.
Just got to go through the program.
That's really exciting. I love a good solve. You know, when I first talked to you, and I think it's in season 1, I said, what's your purpose? And you said, I want to make the top 1%, 2%. You just really want to help people grow that. And the fact that you're doing it through eliminating excuses is very similar to what I call industry changing entrepreneurs that I've been able to spend time with.
Mm-hmm.
You know, my first time hanging out with Richard Branson, I think I told you, is like, how did you come up with even the idea for Virgin Galactic? And he said, I was laying on the beach and looking up at the moon with my friends and said, why can't we just go up there for tea tomorrow? And one of the people sitting down said, well, it's too hard, it's too dangerous, and it's too expensive. And he said, well, I'll just start a company that makes it not hard, not dangerous, and not expensive. And I feel like that's the same kind of brain you have, which is, what are people's excuses for not following their dreams, for not living their calling, for not building the wealth required to be able to step into those things? And it's lack of education, lack of resources. And now I'm hearing you're wanting to do this internationally, but you know, one obstacle I've heard is we can't trade the U.S. stock market from overseas. How do you overcome that one?
With our system, you can.
That's pretty incredible.
Yeah. So, I mean, really, all systems that go at this point.
Amazing.
We've had hundreds of people go through this program. They can trade the U.S. markets. They can trade their own markets. They can trade the foreign currency markets. They can trade Bitcoin, cryptocurrencies.
Wow.
It's all available to them. And the beautiful part is it's a problem solution.
Yeah.
That is what in business, if you want to truly, truly create change, I'm not in this for the money. I'm in this for the magnificent impact, because the impact, money's going to come. Money, again, team, is the easier of the formula that you're trying to solve. When you have a problem, a lot of people get stuck on the money issue. But if you solve enough problems, the money will be given to you by someone else.
Right.
They'll see, oh, wow, you're doing this, right? Just like go back to the most recent episode, when you're talking about Heal the Heroes, people have also said, wow, I love this mission. Here's hundreds of thousands of dollars. Please take my money so that these people can go get healed.
Well, I love that. And one of the things I like about you doing this internationally is a lot of people feel like they have to leave their country to be able to find opportunity, but they just need internet, right?
That's it.
Which can be found in most countries.
Yep.
Which is a big deal because brain drain is when people who are hungry, who are wanting more opportunity, who are really the leaders in their country, who are searching for these solutions, they leave. And then the country's left with people that aren't thinking that way.
Yeah.
And then corruption can take over and all those things. So you're really, with this solution, solving a lot of problems.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
I would love to keep them in their countries. They can stay there. They can create more income for themselves and their family.
Yeah.
And through that income, because when they withdraw money, I'll wire them the money, send it in Coinbase, Venmo, PayPal, Cash App. You can tell me. I'll mail you a check, however you want. And, we're paying in US dollars.
Yeah.
They're trading in US dollars. They're not trading in native currency.
Yeah.
So if I go to Honduras and I meet with the president and they're writing me a check and they're sending 50,000 Hondurans through this program, they're going to be trading 100,000 US dollars.
Right. Okay. Wow.
Yeah. And so when they're withdrawing US dollars, I'm going to mail them a check for 5,000 US dollars.
Yeah.
This is going to change the game.
Very cool.
Because it's the greatest currency in the world, greatest country in the world. We got some problems, got a lot of problems. But every problem has a solution.
Absolutely. And it takes people thinking that way in order to continue to sustain life and joy and abundance the way that we have in the past. And then we are fiercely blessed, even with these problems. There's always problems are really just opportunities to make things better.
Yeah. And
it takes people to execute on those opportunities and to put in the action to make things better.
So I got another one for you. We're going to keep going because that translated to this.
Yeah.
Because I was telling this story to one of my new friends. Her name is Manveer. And I was telling her, hey, we're going to go change nations. We're going to go change countries. We're going to pour it to them. She's like, oh, that's such a great idea. You need to connect with my buddy David. He has this really amazing process that he's doing. So she gives me this phone number. I never met the guy. I text him, hey, man, let's hop on a call. We hop on a call. Turns out he's a neuroscientist.
Ooh.
And he's putting this brainwave scanner on athletes. And then it eventually translates to stock traders, active stock traders. So when he's putting on this brain scan is able to identify if the trader is in a state of flow or not. So if they're in the state of flow, you would assume that the trading would be better, right?
Correct.
Imagine they're thinking like Brittany Turner. Their brain is hot, is on fire. The serotonin, all the big fancy science words are going. And everyone's happy. Everyone's good. When you're in the state of flow, the trades are going to be better. Well, there's been an algorithm that's also been created that if the trader is in the state of flow, when they're wearing this brain device, we have an algorithm that will take that trade in larger quantities and we're making 62% on average. So since the last 8 or 9 months, we're up about 160% in that quite large account. That is all from traders who are wearing this brain device.
Wow.
So now what we're doing, this is getting hilarious. We're now going to start paying people to take trades.
Wow.
So now we're going to be paying you.
That's amazing. We're
going to start teaching people, Brittany. Here's the whole, 3 years from now, we're going to start teaching people. We're going to give them the money. And then we're going to pay them to trade our money wearing these brain devices.
Wow.
So now not only are you going to get education that can change your life, we're going to pay you to do it. We're going to pay you to go to school.
That's really freaking amazing. I mean, this is the solve, unsolve, unsolve.
Yes.
Very cool.
Yes. And that's going to be amazing. This is blowing up in a big way. It's taking real life trading to a whole new stratosphere.
So cool.
It's allowing us to really partner with next level companies, but also companies that are going after the next generation of information, right? The IT, the wearable tech, the technology, the AI, the machine learning, the neuroscience, all those fun things that you're fully aware of as well.
This is the way you start to mix things, guys, as you see movements taking place with technology or whatever in health spaces, making life easier for other people. How can you start to harness that and bring it into your company that sounds scalable. And you took a totally different invention. It was meant for something else, and you're applying it to this space, which is huge.
Yeah. I mean, trading is the biggest pot of gold of any rainbow, and everyone's trying to get it. So if you're listening to this and you have some type of interest, reach out to me if you want to get paid to trade our money. That's pretty terrible.
It's pretty cool
process. But yeah, it's going to be amazing. And I appreciate you asking, but I want to make sure all the listeners know this. It all stemmed from me spending more time with you on this island. So if you need to really elevate your consciousness, your awareness, your money, your business, all of the things, get around people who are smarter than you, spend more time around them, get scared, write some big checks, because then you'll show up and you'll care a lot.
That's true. You pay a lot more attention. I spent $65,000 to go to a weekend conference one time, and it was a pitch-a-thon, meaning they're trying to sell us stuff the whole time. And I was so upset for a second, and everybody who was there was mad. And I said, nope, there's got to be at least one thing here that's worth more than the $65,000 that I spent. And I did. I got one tip. And that tip has since made me probably $600,000. And so if you're hungry, you will find the solutions. You'll find a way to get fed. And so I love that even if all we're doing right now is opening up your brain and telling you new possibilities, then new ways that you can start putting even old ideas together with new strategies. Like there is so much opportunity in the world. That's what abundance is there is more than enough. You just got to start finding your way in that.
Yeah. And it's easy and it's readily available for all of us. So when we're here talking about all these possibilities and all these opportunities, I mean, I'm aware that each listener spent $65,000 to listen to these episodes.
You know.
So we're really hoping that you are getting the value out of what you are spending to be here, because you are spending your time, and we truly appreciate it. We're going to continue going through our changes of the last year, what we've learned, what growth has happened.
New insights.
New insights are coming. Stay tuned. Next episode is, well, right around the corner. Press the button. We'll see you there. Do you want to learn to day trade the markets, knowing absolutely nothing, to creating consistent cash flow every single month? Well, we had the 90 Days to Trade Masterclass presented by Real Life Trading, where our mission is to ensure that you can create cash flow from your family. If you have access to the internet, you have access to income, because not only are we teaching you, but we're giving you the capital to do it with. Go to broketoawoke.com to check out all the info there.